Okay, hello everyone. I'd just like to introduce Joe from Prediction to the show. So, firstly, who are you and what's your background?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here. Yeah, like you mentioned, Joe, founder of Prediction, which is a crowdsourced and crowd-owned investment management firm. I've been working in finance for most of my life. Started off at PricewaterhouseCoopers, working in the banking and capital markets team, dominantly with hedge funds and PE funds. And then after that, set up a VC firm in London called Playfair Capital, which focused on seed stage and Series A technology investments.
Okay.
And saw a lot of opportunities to disrupt the VC space, having worked on it for a few years, and then decided to create Prediction.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so what was your first experience with blockchain or crypto?
The first time I heard about it was a friend of mine who'd gone to Burning Man in 2013 and then converted his camper van, took out all the fittings and replaced it with mining rigs.
Right.
He then tried to persuade us to invest in it back then, and I didn't really fully understand it, so passed on that. And then later on, my first actual investment was into the DAO Hub in 2016.
So the DAO, did you say?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that was your first investment.
That was my first investment. Yeah.
Wow, what an experience, right? Yeah, so I invested in the DAO as well, just on pure, speculation. That's an interesting one. I didn't know anybody actually entered with the DAO, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I saw it. I think this is really gonna, this has a potential to disrupt VC. So I was just really curious to see how it evolved. So I just put in a
Yeah.
small amount of capital. Yeah,
So what is Prediction then?
yeah. So it's a crowdsourced investment firm comprised of investors, researchers, traders, and data scientists.
Okay.
There's so within each of those different user groups, we try to gamify the whole investment process from discovering new investment opportunities, doing the due diligence on them, and then deciding whether to exit the positions or not. So it's an investment management platform that kind of sits in the middle of venture capital and the hedge fund industry. So there's like really two parts of the platform. It's like a marketplace with a demand side and supply side.
Hmm.
So on the demand side, you've got like institutional investors such as hedge funds and VC funds, which are buying the data that we have on the platform that helps them to make better investment decisions. And then on the supply side, you've got individuals, the traders and financial researchers, which are sharing their knowledge to earn money for it.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Where did you get the idea from?
When I was working in VC, a couple of the issues that I found was that often like we didn't have, not just in our firm, but in most VCs, that there's not sufficient knowledge internally to always make investment decisions with like a relatively high degree of certainty. So
Okay.
I wanted to create more of a platform and network where people could share their knowledge. And if you're investing in a space which is foreign to you, then you can rely on people which know that space exceptionally well, where there's like more of a trust system behind the people that you're getting advice from.
Yeah.
So I created this platform so that people can, anyone, whether they're working in the venture industry or just have deep knowledge, expertise in a particular domain, can share their knowledge. And cryptocurrency was a nice way of doing this, because if you want to be able to see who can actually make good investment decisions backed up with data,
Yeah.
then you can do this with cryptocurrency. You can create a portfolio on a platform, and you can see how that evolves over time. And it doesn't even have to be actual money behind it. It can be a virtual portfolio, but you can still see because of the prices are publicly available. You can see who is able to consistently make good investment decisions.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty, valid, especially with VCs in the past before blockchain, there was maybe a lack of transparency. Do you try to, use what we have with the blockchain, with public blockchains, maybe to try to give that transparency to the investor as well? Is that what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, so we're trying to give the investors as much transparency as we possibly can. So,
sure.
So part of that is getting the human knowledge from people in our network. So researchers can actually write their opinions on particular investment opportunities, and they're all weighted according to how well that individual has been able to identify successful companies in the past. And then the other source of transparency comes from publicly available data that we're acquiring from exchanges or social media platforms, or in some cases proprietary data partnerships that we've done with other firms to give the investors essentially all of the information they need that's available to make a better investment decision.
Yeah, no, that's interesting because it's so different to the traditional VC world where they tend to invest in illiquid assets almost, and now with crypto and everything, the ICOs that they're investing in, they're almost instantaneously liquid if they've been put on the exchange or if there's no lockup period, etc. Is that a challenge for Prediction, or is it a benefit to join Prediction for that reason?
I think it's one of the great differentiators between VC and crypto VCs. Sure. And the liquidity thing is one of the main catalysts, I think, which is going to make so many VC firms move from traditional private equity into tokenized equity via securities. Because you can imagine working in a VC firm, you're often waiting like 5-10 years before you can actually exit positions. Mm. So that has a knock-on impact on everyone on the team, from the partners all the way through to the associates. And the liquidity issue is also highly relevant for the actual company and their team members. All too often, when you're hiring people in a company and you're offering them stock options, often the employer is not really interested because they know that they're difficult to liquidate.
Sure. Yeah. What's been the most challenging hurdle for you running Prediction?
So I think like with most marketplaces, you've got like the chicken and egg problem. Right. In our case, on the one side, we want to build up a community of amazing traders and researchers on the basis that if they share their knowledge with us, they can make a lot more money from it than they could just trading off their own balance sheet. But in order for that to happen, you need to have a lot of institutional investors on the other side with hundreds of millions of dollars of capital to put behind the ideas and strategies. Okay. So that's a challenge, but as with most marketplaces, we're focusing on building up the supply side first, and already have some really good traders on the platform, and now working on the second part, which is seeding up the institutional investors on the other side.
Okay, so when did you start Prediction? Just to come back a bit.
Yeah, so we started in January 2017.
Okay. So nearly 2 years. Did you do a token sale or any type of ICO or anything?
We didn't, no. So we just raised private funding in an angel round, and we did consider the doing an ICO, and actually went like quite far down that route, but ultimately decided against it because we really want the community to be owners in the project, and I think it's like a really strong sell to be able to say to a trader or a researcher, come and share your knowledge with us, and in return become an equity holder in the company and own a part of the IP. And that's something that you can't do with utility tokens.
So I had I don't want to really say I went too in depth for it, but I had a brief look at the platform, and I saw it said something like PRED, so Pred. What is that? If anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, so Pred is the security token that we're going to create. That will be distributed to the community. So, for example, we have a traders leaderboard where every week we show who the top 100 traders are on our platform. And based on your position in the traders leaderboard, we will then make payments to you in Pred.
Oh.
So you actually become an owner in the company.
Okay.
If you make top 100 leaderboard.
When does the token plan to go live, or is it when the actual platform's trading live?
The platform is live already. With regards to the actual security token, so we're considering a number of different providers now for the security tokens, such as Polymath and Securitize and a few others, and just evaluating them. It's still quite a nascent space, and it's still a little unclear exactly which token standards are going to be accepted on which security token exchanges. So we're giving it a few months to see how that materializes, and we'll then create the security token after that. But I can say it'll be an ERC20 based.
All right, fantastic. So when it comes to getting the traders, the researchers, and the data scientists, so basically your users on the platform, how do you plan to market this to them? What's going to be the USP for them to say, I really want to join Prediction?
Yeah, so it's because the pitch to them is that they can make a lot more money by sharing their knowledge with us on the platform than they can from trading off their own balance sheet. For most of the individuals on their site, they probably have less than $100,000 in their bank account, but some of them are doing extremely well on the trading front, consistently coming on to our top traders, top 100 leaderboard.
Well, I hope the traders are doing well, because everybody who's just holding their coins this year haven't been doing well. So I hope so. But okay, so that's great. What's the biggest win you think you've had since running the project?
So I think that has to be our price prediction accuracy. So when we started off, it was around 25-30%, and now our average price prediction accuracy is 70%. Which is really great, I think, and I think that's testament to the network effect of the platform, because as we onboard more traders and more researchers and more quant traders, then we get more data and a better price prediction accuracy. Okay. So really happy with that, and also very happy with the simulated funds. So this started off as more like a fun project, but we basically wanted to see how far we can take the price prediction accuracy in terms of use, and started doing simulated trades using a portfolio strategy. Okay. And that started in June, and we're currently up 40% since June this year, which I think outperforms the majority of hedge funds and crypto funds that I'm aware of.
I believe it's outperforming everything, but especially a lot of the funds, because what's happened is a lot of the majority, let's call them, of the smaller funds and groups that were started on the later half of last year. So even if they have a supreme hedging strategy, the alpha that generated is still going to be pretty low. So that's pretty good. So when entering this space as a entrepreneur like yourself, what questions do you have to ask, whether it be setting up your project? What questions were you needing to ask?
So you mean like specifically in the space, or like in the VC industry?
Just getting involved in let's say crypto VC, really.
Yeah. So I think that at the time that we started this, it was a really good time to be involved in it. A lot of hype in the industry. Sure. around tokens and ICOs, and everyone was making money. And obviously, the markets have changed materially since then, and there's this like public stigma of ICOs are evil, and Bitcoin is going to be the only survivor. Like so there's there's quite a lot of negativity, I'd say, in the certainly on the trading side of the space right now. But ultimately, I'm still very positive about blockchain and the future and how it's going to disrupt VC. So I think for new entrants coming into it, we just need to get the timing right. I think it's a really exciting time for security tokens. I think it's going to be a nice window of opportunity that opens up in Q1, Q2 next year. The companies going into that space.
Do you have any information on I don't know, you've maybe spoken to a few regulators on any updates on what's really going on with security tokens and how they're going to really fit into the traditional securities world?
Like in terms of conversations I've had with regulators, no is the answer. I know there's been I know there's most of the exchanges that are doing this have got quite a big lineup now of companies which are about to go live on them. 2 exchanges are launching this month. T0 is launching this month.
Yeah.
So I think it's I think regulators around the world are going to take some time to come to terms with it, but ultimately, it is going to happen because there's this, I think, if nothing else, significant time and efficiency savings from tokenizing a regulated asset class.
Yeah. Okay. So what makes prediction unique? Why can't it be replicated by any other project that wants to get into the crypto VC space?
I think it's very much the fact that we're going to be owned by the community, I think, is a key differentiator to, let's say the average crowdfunding platform.
Okay.
And there's also, I'd say, like a first mover advantage because of the network effect of it. I already mentioned that the price prediction accuracy, but the more people we on board, the better that price prediction accuracy becomes. And once you've established trust with the institutional investors that they can actually trust your price predictions, that they're likely to keep using them.
Okay, so as you scale up, then it just improves the platform itself, basically. Okay, that sounds fantastic.
And for all of the great traders and the great researchers on the platform, given that they're already equity holders in the company, they've got a vested interest to keep sharing their knowledge on it. We've also got a referral scheme in place where you can invite other really smart people from the network, and you earn a percentage of what they earn.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I did see when I was looking on the platform of the the referral links, they were good because if you do a review, let's say you're a researcher and you do a review on Ethereum, you can get another researcher to do a review on Ethereum, and I think that just builds the platform. So yeah, props to you for that. It's really, really good.
Exactly. You might be like an amazing researcher and developer on software reviews and security audits, and then you have a really good mate who's great at doing legal reviews of security tokens, and you can invite them to the platform. And it's that collaborative knowledge across different skill sets which really empowers the value of the network.
Yeah, it's. I was speaking to somebody the other day, and they were confused on why the ICOs. I said to them ICOs were going to be bigger than STOs, and this is nothing against any STO, but the reason why ICOs were popular in 2017 was because of the virality effect. So they could become viral, that everybody was getting involved, and there was bounty schemes, etc., etc. And I do think that in this day and age, if you don't have something that has a referral link or invite system, then it's going to be very difficult for you to scale up and improve your project. So yeah, I think that works, and I definitely think it works on a research perspective, because everybody collaborating on research just improves the research.
Yeah, I agree. But ultimately, I don't think it's like so important, and I think it's completely fine to just go and raise like a small amount with a security token offering, and see if what you're doing actually works, and if it does, issue more capital and raise more. I much prefer that method of growing a business than some of these ICOs that raise $50 million and then investors, they have completely misaligned interests with the investors, and teams dump their tokens. I think it's a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, it is, and I just think that's just shows the immaturity of the space, which is a positive, right? It's a good fact that the space is immature, because when there's if there's innovators or entrepreneurs that understand, okay, this is pretty bad, let me just improve it, then that's a great business there. So I only think it's a positive. Yes, it's negative on the investors that invested in some of these shady ICOs, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. So if you could go back to January 2017, knowing the things you know today, what would you change and why?
That's a good question. I think when we first started off the platform, I mean, as with any business starting off, you're always kind of experimenting a little bit to see who the core buyer of your product is going to be. And we initially thought that was going to be mostly retail investors. Mm-hmm. And we built the platform, a lot of the platform and features to cater to the real retail investor. What we found out last year was actually most of the demand for it was actually coming more from the institutional side that wanted to connect via an API with very high data speed access. So I think that would be in the benefit in hindsight, we would have built the platform slightly more B2B focused on the demand side than for the retail investor.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So we've got to the stage of the episode where I ask my 3 questions, and so if you could just answer these to the best of your ability, hopefully. If you could name 3 crypto projects that you think will still exist in 25 years, who are they and why?
Yeah, so my first one would have to be Bitcoin, just because of the sheer size of it. I do think it's probably too big to fail. And Ethereum I'd also put in the same category. More developers are working on Ethereum than, as far as I know, any other part of tech. And then the third token I really like, which isn't out yet, tradable, but it's basis, and I think that's super important because it's probably like a pretty big recession that's looming around the corner, and I think people are really going to need to have a stable currency whenever there's a recession, and given the cyclical nature of them, I feel like it's an important coin for everyone to have.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the second question is, what's the best thing that you have purchased with crypto? So whether it be, a t-shirt or anything like that.
What, physical products that I purchased?
Yeah, physical.
Yeah, I've never purchased a physical product with crypto yet.
Okay, that's fine. That's a honest answer. This final question I have is Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Ethereum, yeah.
Okay, why?
Because it's where the bulk of the innovation is happening with regards to products being built on top of it.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Okay, so what's the best tip for someone who's interested in prediction and want to get involved in the project?
So that really depends on who they are. So if you're an institutional investor, best thing to do is have a look at our API documentation. You can see what kind of data sources that you can use to help you make better investment decisions, whether you're a hedge fund or a VC. And there's lots of raw data on there that you can use to supplement your own existing trading models, or if you're just getting into the crypto space. As a hedge fund, there's more plug and play models where you can just access our price predictions. And then if you're a researcher or really have deep expertise across any domain, we'd love to have you join the community and share your knowledge.
And where can the audience find you, or get in contact with the prediction team?
So we've got a Telegram channel. Also, you can just email me personally. I'm based in Berlin, so I'm frequently at a lot of the crypto meetups over here.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. All right. So I think we're out of time now. Thank you very much, Joe, for your time. Hopefully we can speak soon and find out how prediction is getting on.
That's great. Well, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Joe. Take care. So thank you for listening to the podcast today. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something. If you're not a member of the Nextblock community, please head to www.nextblock.io and find out more. If you want to be a part of the most exclusive updates, products, events, and everything else that's going on in crypto, head to Telegram and go to our channel, Nextblock Updates. So if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and a review, and it would be really appreciated. It's been Connor from Nextblock. Take care, and I hope to see you on the next episode.